Not only is everyone a student, but everyone is also a teacher. Everyone you meet will know something that you don't know. We are all students, so some part of us is interested in education. I have a bachelor's degree in elementary education from Brigham Young University. I also currently teach 3rd grade at Freedom Prep Academy in Provo. And schools are failing children. I will show you why they are failing children. First, I will explain what teachers are doing in public schools. Then I will explain how the Department of Education is adding to this problem. And then I will begin to explain how we can start to solve the education crisis. In a public elementary school, teachers are not truly helping students to learn. We know that school educates children, but are these children learning in school? From the Oxford Dictionary, the definition of learn states that we acquire knowledge through study, experience, and teaching. In public schools, students are being talked to, and they're completing worksheets, and they're covering the basics of the grade that they're in, more than they're actually experiencing and learning. Why is this happening? I have 2 reasons. Reason number 1, teachers have too much to teach and not enough time to teach it. Teachers are often focused on lessons instead of helping students learn. There is not enough time in the day for teachers to focus on teaching every single student a lesson. It's faster and easier to teach one lesson. In a classroom, a teacher will have students at all different grade levels. If she teaches 3rd grade, she'll still have students that are on a 1st grade, a 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 7th grade reading level. So instead of planning a lesson for each individual child, she doesn't have time for that. She'll plan one lesson that's on the 3rd grade level, and for some kids it'll go right over their head, and for some kids it'll be way too easy for them. But teachers don't have enough time in the day or to plan a lesson for each individual student. Reason number 2, teachers are extremely stressed, which affects their teaching. Teachers are responsible for students' success, for every single student's success, according to Roles of a Teacher in the Classroom, an article I read. Teachers have way too many students to help students have these one-on-one experiences every single day. And the pressure, knowing that they are responsible for each student's success, doesn't help with that problem. But teachers are not necessarily the ones responsible for failing students. The Department of Education is making it almost impossible for teachers to successfully teach their students so that true learning can happen. We hear this all the time, but it really is true. Teachers do not get paid enough. They don't get paid enough to plan and execute lessons that will help students have experiences. I did some research, and according to Joel Anderson, income needed to live a comfortable life in Texas is $77,835 a year. And according to the average starting teacher salaries, $41,481 is what a teacher in Texas will earn. $41,000 is what she earns, and $77,000 is what she needs to live comfortably. There's a big difference there. So teachers are not going to spend their hard-earned money creating experiences for these students. They don't even get paid enough to live comfortably themselves. They can't afford to buy everything for their students. I had my students a few days ago. We talked about chemical reactions, and I had my students make lava lamps. I went to the store, and after I bought all of the ingredients and all of the things we would need to make that activity a success, it cost $47. Which is a lot of money for someone who doesn't make enough to live comfortably themselves. The Department of Education also passed the No Child Left Behind law, which hurt more students than it actually helped. This law said that states are required to bring all students to the proficient level. to the proficient level, all students. So teachers started focusing on the low students. In order for students to be academically placed in special education, they must be below grade level, according to Erudix. If they are to be below grade level to be in special education, then it is impossible for them to become at a proficient level by the end of the year. So students or teachers spent so much time focused on these students who will not be able to make that progress. That's what the definition of special education states. It's a real thing. There's not anything that teachers can do to change that. But because this law was passed in 2002, No Child Left Behind, we've been focusing on these students that are low for such a long time. There isn't a solution that will fix everything. But I do believe that smaller class sizes and more service involvement in the community will benefit children more than what they're currently getting at school. Schools have too many students in each class for each student to learn. If I had 7 students in my class opposed to 27, I would be able to focus on their needs, teach individual lessons that each student needs, and understand how they learn best, which will help me plan lessons for them. Because of this large class size that is currently in public schools, it's too hard to take students anywhere. Students only get a few field trips each year when they should be out in the community once a week. Students should be working in soup kitchens, cleaning hiking trails, or even visiting old folks' homes. These experiences will teach them important life lessons. I have described how teachers and the Board of Education are failing students. And then I described some steps we can take to begin to fix the problem. Although teachers and schools are trying with the tools they have, they are failing students. Because students are not getting everything they can from a public school, we have 2 options. There are homeschool curriculums out there focused on the individual that will give students a better experience than public schools currently are. We can also help students of all ages, including ourselves, understand the importance of service. Although memorizing multiplication facts is important, becoming a kind human who serves others is one of the most important qualities a person can have. So let's focus on teaching through our examples and truly learning instead of just simply being talked to.